Headlines flickered across screens in Tokyo, Anchorage, and Honolulu. Seismic unrest detected in the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench. Scientists spoke in measured tones. Something was stirring deep beneath the North Pacific. The Earth groaned, a low, inaudible rumble for now, but with the potential for a deafening roar. The focus, the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench, one of the deepest places on Earth. Here, the Pacific Plate is forced under the Okhotsk Plate in a slow, violent process. The plates lock, build up stress, then break free in a violent burst, earthquakes. When this happens under the ocean, it creates tsunamis, walls of water racing across the Pacific. The threat isn't just local, it can reach shores thousands of miles away. Born in the deep, this threat has the power to touch every shore around the Pacific. To understand the threat, we must understand the place. The Kuril-Kamchatka Trench is a colossal fault where the Pacific Plate dives beneath the Okhotsk Plate. This immense fault stretches over 2,000 kilometers, from Japan to Kamchatka. The region is a line of fire, dotted with over 160 volcanoes. The trench itself is a place of extremes, immense pressure, near-freezing temperatures, perpetual darkness. Here, the plates lock, strain builds, and the fault ruptures, causing violent earthquakes and tsunamis. The Kuril-Kamchatka Trench is a crack at the edge of the world, holding the potential for unimaginable destruction. The Kuril-Kamchatka Trench is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, a vast horseshoe-shaped zone encircling the Pacific Ocean. 90% of the world's earthquakes and most of its volcanoes are found here. The engine behind it all is plate tectonics. The Pacific Plate, the largest on Earth, moves northwest at about 8 centimeters a year, roughly the speed of fingernail growth. Over centuries, this slow movement adds up, storing immense strain in the rock. When released, it can cause catastrophic earthquakes. Scientists call these areas seismic gaps, segments of faults that haven't ruptured in a long time. The longer the gap, the more strain accumulates, and the larger the potential earthquake. Several segments of the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench are identified as seismic gaps. This isn't guesswork, it's based on GPS data, historical records, and deep geological understanding. The pressure is building. The gap is waiting to be filled. The slow dance of the Pacific Plate is patient, but its consequences are monumental. When the plates finally slip, the results can be devastating. The world watches, knowing the next great quake is only a matter of time. The Kuril-Kamchatka region's violent nature is no secret. Its history is written in earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Indigenous peoples like the Ainu and Itelmen have oral traditions of great shaking and giant waves, historical records of catastrophe. Instrumental records from the 20th century confirm this turmoil. The trench has ruptured in a series of major earthquakes over the past 250 years. In 1737, a magnitude 9 earthquake struck Kamchatka, generating a tsunami over 60 meters high. The 20th century brought more powerful quakes in 1923, 1915, and 1918, each releasing strain in different segments. Each event can transfer stress to adjacent, locked segments, increasing the risk of another quake. The system is interconnected. The trench produces massive earthquakes with a certain regularity. The time between great events on any segment can be centuries, but the trench is long. Different parts are at different stages in the cycle. The historical record is a guide to the future. What has happened before will happen again. The region's past is a warning for what's to come. The Earth remembers even if we forget. On November 4, 1952, the world witnessed the power of the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench. A magnitude 9 earthquake ruptured a 600-kilometer section of the subduction zone. The shaking was severe, but the tsunami that followed was catastrophic. Severokurilsk, home to 6,000 people, was devastated. The first of 3 giant waves, up to 15 meters high, struck an hour after the quake. The destruction was nearly total, buildings swept away, boats tossed inland, debris dragged out to sea. The official death toll was over 2,300, but the true number may have been higher. The event was shrouded in secrecy, but the tsunami's impact was felt across the Pacific. Waves caused damage in Hawaii, Alaska, California, and Peru. The 1952 quake confirmed the trench's megathrust potential and the Pacific-wide tsunami hazard. It was a wake-up call. An earthquake in this remote region is not a local problem. It's a threat to the entire Pacific Rim. The lessons of 1952 still shape our understanding and preparedness today. The quake's legacy is a reminder of the trench's power. The Pacific is connected by more than water. It's linked by the threat of the next great quake. The memory of 1952 endures as a warning. The world cannot afford to forget. The next event could be even more devastating. A major earthquake in the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench would trigger a chain reaction. The first danger is the ground shaking, catastrophic for Kamchatka and the Kurils. Cities like Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, with over 170,000 people, are at risk. Many older buildings may not withstand a magnitude 9 quake, but the greater threat is the tsunami. A megathrust rupture would push the ocean into a series of powerful waves. For the Russian coast, warning time would be minimal. Waves could arrive in less than 30 minutes. The complex coastline could amplify the waves to terrifying heights. The impact wouldn't stop at Russia. The tsunami would race across the Pacific, Japan, Alaska, the US West Coast, and Hawaii, all in its path. The 1952 tsunami caused millions in damage in Hawaii. A future event could be worse. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center would issue alerts to dozens of countries. From the moment the quake is detected, the clock starts ticking for everyone. The tsunami's reach is vast. No Pacific coastline is truly safe. Preparedness and rapid response are the only defenses. The next wave could arrive at any time. For the people of Kamchatka and the Kurils, living with risk is a fact of life. They inhabit a land of snow-capped volcanoes, geysers, and abundant wildlife, beauty and danger intertwined. The threat of earthquakes and tsunamis is ever present, but so is resilience. Many livelihoods are tied to the sea, which can both provide and destroy. Preparedness is part of the culture. Schools hold drills, evacuation routes are marked. Yet there's a sense of fatalism. Survival may depend as much on luck as on preparation. Emergency services train constantly, knowing they may be cut off from the world in a disaster. The region is vast, the population scattered, and the weather harsh. Past events have left stories of terror, resilience, and loss, memories woven into the community. Today's generation has better technology and faster warnings, but the fundamental challenge remains. When the earth shakes and the sea rises, they will have only minutes to act. Life on this frontier is a balance between awe and vigilance. The people endure, knowing the next test is inevitable. Their story is one of survival on the edge. We are not blind to the threat. Scientists and instruments stand watch. Seismometers, GPS stations, and deep ocean buoys monitor the region constantly. This international effort tracks the slow buildup of strain and the faintest tremors. Data is shared across borders, and every quake is a global scientific event. Computer models simulate ruptures and tsunamis, refining forecasts with each new earthquake. Yet one goal remains elusive: predicting the exact time and place of a quake. We can identify high-risk areas and estimate probabilities, but the final trigger is still a mystery. The focus is on preparedness and warning. The Pacific Tsunami Warning System is a triumph of cooperation, saving countless lives. When a large quake is detected, the system springs into action, analyzing data, confirming tsunamis, and issuing alerts within minutes. This is our best defense against the trench's far-reaching threat. Technology can't stop the next quake, but it can help us survive it. Vigilance and readiness are our strongest tools. The world watches and waits, knowing the next test is coming. The Kuril-Kamchatka Trench reminds us of our place on a powerful, dynamic planet. We are not its masters, only its inhabitants, subject to its laws and forces. The grinding of tectonic plates has shaped our world for billions of years and will continue for billions more. We cannot stop or control it. We can only seek to understand and live with it. This is our unbreakable pact with the planet, accepting its beauty and bounty, and its violence and unpredictability. The threat from the trench is not if, but when. The historical record and scientific data are clear: a great earthquake will happen again. The uncertainty is the hardest part, but complacency is dangerous. With each year, more strain accumulates, and the potential for disaster grows. Our response must be constant vigilance and unwavering preparation. This means resilient communities, strong building codes, public education, and robust warning systems. It's a shared responsibility for everyone living around the Pacific Rim. The story of the trench is one of respect for the Earth's power, our vulnerability, and our ingenuity. We have the tools to save lives, but only if we listen to the planet's warnings. The whispers from the deep will one day become a roar. Our survival will depend on how well we've prepared. The future belongs to those who respect the planet and each other.